Marilyn's divorces, her stormy love affairs, her appalling professional difficulties, and finally a sacking from a last film, Something's Got to Give, had all been well documented. What more proof was necessary? A few weeks after the tragic news. Also, the films, a kind of note here, the films may be a clue, the name of the films. After any lingering suspicions that there had been foul play were allayed by a coroner's rushed report, Hollywood, America and the world went back to business. For a while it seemed the circumstances of Marilyn Monroe's death, if not her legendary status, would become forgotten by all, but subsequent inquiries have shown that evidence is inconclusive. The case remains open to this day. Mainly, it has been the simple facts of the case that have prevented it from ever being satisfactorily closed. All the forensic medical detail relating to Marilyn's death by barbiturate poisoning suggests not suicide but death by other causes. Equally important, there is little indication that in the last few weeks of her life, Marilyn had been suffering the chronic depression or desperation characteristics of the suicidal. She was at times, however, in a near catatonic state, unable to sleep as usual, and dependent on narcotics. She was trying to get over a sacking from 20th Century Fox, an abortion, and the last traumatic year and a half. Her problems had come to head. So this year and a half, what was she doing? Her problems had come to a head 18 months previously, on 20 January 61. 20 January, the day is important as well, number 20 is important. 2.5 months after filming had finished on her last completed film, The Misfits. Is also a clue perhaps? What does she say? Did she say anything in The Misfits? Or on Something's Got to Give? What was she saying? Does she keep diaries? Marilyn was divorced amid some acrimony from the playwright Arthur Miller. She was on the slide into the longest depression of her existence, Norman Mailer would later write. Now this man is saying that she was on a slide, the longest depression of her existence. There's no very nice thing to say. Norman Mailer rhymes with Naylor, would later write in his biography, Marilyn. On this period in her life, physically and mentally exhausted, Marilyn was admitted to the Payne Whitney Psychiatric Clinic. They all think we're mad, you know what I mean? They always think we're mad. They always think we're mad. They even think the seal of the apostles is mad. To them, we're crazy. Anyway, against psychiatric clinic recommendations of a doctor. Who was a doctor? And against her will. She didn't even want to go. You know what I mean? As soon as she could, she appealed to Lee and Paula Strasberg, her drama coaches and mentors, who ignored her cry for help. So they ignored her, putting her further into a state of disarray. She then contacted Joe DiMaggio, her second husband, from whom she had been divorced 1956, but who had remained close to her, and he had her released into his care. Now, did this husband know Lee and Paula Strasberg, Payne Whitney Psychiatric Clinic, and Norman Mailer? Who she divorced in 50. There followed 3 weeks of rest in Neurological Institute of Columbia Presbyterian. Let's pronounce that. She returned to Hollywood and began commuting from there to New York. So she commuted from there to New York. So she met people on the commuter trains, or probably the transport system. During June 61, she had a gallbladder operation, but recovered well. Early during 1962, that was embarrassing for her perhaps. Early during 1962, Marilyn, who advertised that she had a gallbladder? Early during 1962, Marilyn moved to 12305 Fifth Helena Drive in Brentwood, Los Angeles. A single-story house with a garden, swimming pool she seldom used. Why didn't she use these amenities? Didn't she have time? Around this time, rumors of a friendship with President Kennedy and his brother, Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, spread from Hollywood to Washington, D.C. and back again. Now, people like this have relationships like this. It's just what they do because of fame and popularity, so people recognize them and know them and get votes. Their relationship can be traced, they think is respectable. Their relationship can be traced before Kennedy's big 45th birthday celebrations held at New York's Madison Square Garden on 19th May. On that occasion, many Americans had been shocked by Marilyn's sexy rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President, Thanks for the Memory. Delivered in person in front of 17,000 Democrats and broadcast coast to coast, she had interrupted filming on Something's Got to Give, her last movie this is. She'd interrupted the last movie to do that. The film she probably knew that she was going to get sacked, so she said this to the president, and she'd done that, and then she got the sacking. I don't know how that coincides. She had interrupted filming and had begun work on April, infuriating its director George Cukor, C-U-K-O-R, to be at the party. Just George Cukor had nothing to do with it. Indeed, in the first 3 weeks filming, he had money, isn't it? He didn't care. To be at the party. Indeed, in the first 3 weeks filming, Marilyn turned up on just 6 days. So, 6 days out of 7 ain't bad. Of the Kennedys, it was Robert with whom Marilyn was to become most closely linked. More on Marilyn's case a bit later. Thank you very much for listening.